Hello friends, and welcome to a brand new camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE against the S23 Ultra. Right now we are recording at 4K 30 frames per second. Tell me in the comment section below which one do you think has better colors and which one has a better audio.
Let's begin this comparison with their front cameras. In this first test, both devices did a great job capturing all the details of my face and skin color accurately. While I look sharp in both pictures, I think the S23 Ultra did slightly better with the smaller details, but the difference is tiny. In this other sample, the S23 Ultra is once again doing a better job with my skin color, since it is representing me how I look in real life. When it comes to sharpness, both are very detailed, but like I said, I prefer the Ultra. Now, let's shift our focus to the main cameras. We can clearly see that the S23 Ultra produces much more vibrant colors compared to the FE, which offers somewhat flat-looking colors. This has been the case with the S23 Ultra since its launch, and I really love how it displays the images. This wasn't just a one-time scenario. I've noticed it in many situations, like this one, where the sky looks much more vibrant and the buildings are more appealing on the flagship S23 Ultra. The difference is quite noticeable. The dynamic range between them appears to be quite similar, but the Ultra shows a slight improvement in making darker areas brighter and more visible. In this particular scene, I think it is quite noticeable. In addition, there are some smaller differences in terms of colors. The S23 Ultra tends to produce pictures with a warmer tone, whereas the S23 FE presents cooler colors. For the most part, however, I would say that in daylight their main cameras offer amazing quality, and even though there are some differences that favor the S23 Ultra, I wouldn't go as far as to say that the S23 FE is bad. On the contrary, it still performs exceptionally well in this category and maintains a high standard of image quality. When I compared the ultra-wide cameras positioned in the same place, I was taken surprise by the fact that the S23 FE is actually almost identical compared to its much more expensive sibling. This just shows that Samsung's processing is similar across the board. Moving on to the next scene, I noticed that the S23 Ultra captures more vibrant colors. However, upon closer examination of the sky, the FE preserves the cloud details more effectively, whereas the Ultra falls slightly short in this aspect. On the other hand, the S23 Ultra shines in capturing darker areas, as seen in this particular instance where the statues are much more visible compared to the S23 FE. I observed that in certain scenes, the S23 Ultra performed better, while in other instances, the S23 FE managed to outshine the Ultra despite being cheaper. The results seem to vary, with each phone taking the lead in different situations. Overall, with their ultra-wide cameras, I would say that both devices offer a consistent performance. Both phones also come with a 3x telephoto camera, and similar to before, they remain quite similar in performance. In this specific case, I had to zoom in significantly to notice that the Ultra has a slightly brighter image in these areas. The difference is subtle and may not be immediately apparent without close inspection. The S23 FE applies a slight over-sharpening effect to its pictures. When we zoom in and inspect the cropped image, we can see that the statues of the soldiers on the S23 Ultra appear smooth yet still retain their detail, whereas on the FE, they appear overly sharp, which doesn't look as visually appealing. In general, similar to the previous cameras, the S23 Ultra tends to produce more vibrant pictures compared to the S23 FE, which captures images that are more true to life. It's a matter of personal preference, but if you enjoy pictures that are vivid and vibrant, then the S23 Ultra would be your preferred choice. The S23 Ultra is clearly better compared to its cheaper counterpart when it comes to images taken at 10x zoom. That's because of its dedicated 10x telephoto sensor. As you can see from these samples, the S23 Ultra is just amazing while the S23 FE is nowhere near as sharp. If zoomed pictures are your priority, then the S23 Ultra is the way to go. But of course you have to pay more to get this lens. When it comes to portraits, we have more or less the same results. On the right, I look brighter and the picture is ready to be posted social media, while on the left, the picture looks cooler, but if I had to post it, I would need to edit it a little bit. When it comes to edge detection, both are almost identical. A similar pattern emerges when taking portraits at 3x zoom. The Ultra captures vivid and vibrant portraits, while the FE offers a toned-down picture, but it isn't as sharp as the Ultra and most of my face details have been lost. Both cameras are excellent when it comes to recording videos. They capture great colors and keep the footage stable very well. Although there are slight variations in how they capture the colors of the river and the greenery, overall, they are quite similar. In my opinion, both cameras perform genuinely well. Even when using their ultra-wide cameras, there are hardly any noticeable differences between the two. Despite our usual expectations for the more expensive device to be better, this time the differences are minimal. Even the cheaper FE performs exceptionally well and maintains that high level of quality without any issues. When recording at 3x zoom, the stabilization remains quite similar to before. However, I did notice a difference in colors between the two models. The Ultra has a warmer shade, while the FE has a cooler tone. At 10x zoom, on the other hand, we have a different story, with the S23 Ultra being much sharper and the S23 FE losing most of the details. Obviously, the Ultra is much better. Now let's shift our focus to low light, where all the pictures are captured with night mode enabled. In this particular sample, the S23 Ultra brightens my face and delivers an overall pleasing image. On the S23 FE, the overall image is darker and my face isn't as sharp as on the Ultra. In more challenging situations, the Ultra performs very well when it comes to capturing hair details, as the sharpness is spot on. On the other hand, the FE falls slightly behind in this aspect. Furthermore, the warmer colors produced by the S23 Ultra are more preferable to my personal taste. Moving on to the main cameras, the Galaxy S23 FE surprisingly appears brighter than the S23 Ultra. However, it's important to note that brighter doesn't always mean to better quality. In this case, the FE tends to crush the highlights, resulting in loss of detail, whereas the more expensive Ultra maintains better highlight control, allowing the text to remain perfectly visible. When it comes to color calibration, similar to daylight, the S23 Ultra produces warmer tones and portrays more vivid colors, while the S23 FE appears cooler. However, in this specific scene, either device was able to accurately capture the colors as they appeared in real life. The actual scene was somewhere in between the warmer and cooler tones represented by the phones. The Ultra maintains its slight advantage over the FE in other cases as well, as seen in this example where the greenery appears natural and not over-sharpened, unlike on the S23 FE. When it comes to low light, I can confidently say that the S23 Ultra is actually better compared to the S23 FE. The pictures are noticeably sharper, and the highlights are better controlled, resulting in a more balanced and well-exposed image. For instance, the lights that appeared blown out on the FE are perfectly readable on the Ultra. The same trend continues with their ultra-wide cameras, as the S23 Ultra edges out the FE. However, both devices experience a decrease in image quality compared to the main cameras. It is my hope that Samsung will make improvements to the ultra-wide camera in future flagships, but till then this is what we get. The S23 FE maintains its brighter appearance, but as mentioned before, there is a significant difference in color tone between the two devices. Like I said earlier, I prefer the colors of the Galaxy S23 Ultra. The FE sometimes captures scenes more accurately, resembling real life, while the Ultra tends to have a warmer color tone that may be too intense. In terms of noise, it appears that the S23 Ultra performs better, with less of it compared to the S23 FE. The latter, on the other hand, has a lot more noise, especially around the edges. The Ultra also maintains higher saturation and vibrancy, while the FE appears comparatively flatter in terms of colors, which may not be as appealing to your personal taste. At 3x zoom, you'll notice a big difference between the Ultra and the FE when it comes to displaying the Burger King logo. The S23 Ultra handles it perfectly, while the S23 FE struggles and the lighter colors appear washed out. In the next scene, the Ultra impresses with its ability to provide a detailed picture where all the lights are clearly visible. However, the FE falls short in handling the lights, resulting in a slightly blurry image overall. 10x pictures during the night couldn't be more different, with the S23 Ultra being bright and very detailed, and the S23 FE being darker and most of the details have been lost. This is of course a big win for the Ultra. Even in low light, the story remains the same for portraits. The S23 Ultra captures sharper images and preserves most of the facial details. On the S23 FE, my face appears less sharp, and the overall colors are not as pleasing. Interestingly, the edge detection seems to be similar on both devices. So, what are your thoughts? Which device do you think was better? Personally, I find it to be a close call, but after reviewing all the pictures, I would say the S23 Ultra takes the win in this comparison, especially in low light. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel.